Isaac returned home that evening, his heart pounding with uncertainty. He sat at the edge of his bed, staring at the note in his hands. The words were neatly written but carried a heavy weight that made his skin crawl. His hands trembled as he read the note over and over again. The promise of a thriving hospital and wealth beyond his dream was tempting, but the instructions and the underlying threats chilled him to the bone. He remembered the struggles he and his mother had endured, the humiliation, the betrayals, and the hopelessness. That night, Isaac couldn't sleep. He wrestled with his conscience. The next morning, Peter called him. Isaac, hope you've made up your mind. His voice rang over the phone. Isaac hesitated. Peter, what exactly am I getting myself into? Why can't there be straightforward? This doesn't sit well with me. Peter signed. Look, Isaac, I brought you into this because you are my friend and struggling, and I want to see you succeed. I won't lie to you. These people are powerful. If you work with them, your life will change for the better. But if you back out, they might not take it lightly with you. Just be careful with your decisions. Peter was only added to Isaac's anxiety. He decided to buy himself some time, telling Peter he needed a few days to think. A week passed and Isaac tried to focus on his clinic, but his mind was elsewhere. Then, late one evening, a black SUV pulled up outside his clinic. Two men in suits stepped out and walked in. Dr. Isaac, one of the men said, her boss is expecting your answer. Isaac nodded. I need a little more time. This is a big decision for me. The men exchanged glance, then handed him an envelope. This would help you decide, one of the men said before walking out. Isaac opened the envelope. After they have left, inside was a check of 5 million naira and a note that read, a token of what's to come. His heart raced. The money was enough to turn his clinic around instantly. He could buy new equipment, hire more staff, and finally make a name for himself. One evening, as Isaac closed his clinic, he noticed a car trailing him. His instinct kicked in, and he took a longer route, waving through crowded streets to lose the vehicle. When he finally got home, he found his mother trembling. Some men came here looking for you, she whispered. They said you need to stop wasting their time. Isaac realized that he had two choices: accept their deal and risk losing his soul, or stand his ground and fight for his integrity. The next day, he made his decision. Isaac was a young African man from Lagos, Nigeria. His journey to success had been filled with struggles. Life had not been kind to him. He had literally sponsored himself through school, doing all kinds of odd jobs. His father had died a painful death simply because the family couldn't afford the cost of an operation. His mother, a strong woman, fought her in-laws when they seized the little land his father left behind. With nothing to his name, Isaac was forced to struggle through life. After graduating from medical school, he walked through every axis of Lagos searching for a job. But despite his brilliance, he was met with rejection at every turn. He refused to give up, pushing himself daily for the sake of his mother, the only person he had left. One hot afternoon, after another fruitless job hunt, Isaac stopped by a roadside shop to get a sachet of water to cool down his temperature. He took a seat outside, trying to regain his strength. His leg ached from trekking long distance with no money for transportation. Suddenly, a black luxurious car pulled up beside him. The door opened and a man stepped out. Give me a bottle of water, he said to the seller. Isaac's heart skipped a beat. That voice sounded so familiar. He raised his head and gasped. Mentus, he called out, his face lighting up with joy. The man turned to him, confused at first, then recognition drowned. Isaac! Isaac, my guy! They embraced tightly, laughing and exchanging pleasantries. Mentus had been his schoolmate, but he had never been the brightest student. Yet, standing before Isaac was a man dressed in expensive designer clothes, adored with gold chain and stepping out of a car worth millions. Take my card, Mental said, slipping a gold embossed business card into Isaac's palm. Call me tomorrow. I really miss you. Isaac, my man. He hailed. We have a lot to talk about, he said. Isaac could barely contain his excitement as he rushed home to tell his mother. The next day, Isaac arrived at Mentu's home, a massive mansion in one of Lagos' most expensive neighborhoods. Mentus welcomed him warmly. Isaac, my guy. Isaac, my guy. My real G. It looked like life has been beating you left and right, Isaac. Look at you. Mentus teased, eyeing Isaac faded clothes and worn out shoes. Isaac sighed and shared his struggles, hoping for help. Mentus chuckled. You see, Isaac, school no be real life oh. See as you be my guy. Omo, like you dey carry first for class, my guy. Ah, how life come take do you like this? Like life beat you oh. Life really dey beat you oh. I think say by now if I don be governor for our country, wetin dey sup? I think say by now if I don be president for this country, with all your brain and everything, God. Come be like say school na scam oh. School no be real life oh. You fit carry first for class make you fail for street oh, he said, shaking his head. But no worry, I go help you na my guy, I go help you. He flaunted his wealth, boasting about his cars, houses and businesses. Remember how dull I was in school then? Eh? Me wey no know chaka, wey my brain na coconut dey inside. Now, come be like say na me get half of this Lagos so now we get Lagos. Mentus promised to employ Isaac, but instead of offering him a real job, he turned Isaac into an errand boy. Isaac cleaned his cars, washed his clothes, and even arranged girls for Mentus at expensive hotels. Yet, each time he was given only 5,000 or 10,000 naira. For 2 years, Isaac endured the humiliations, clinging to Mentu's promise of helping him travel abroad. Mentus called Isaac. You na my guy, Isaac, and I wan help you. I want make you pack your bag tomorrow. We go dey leave this country next week, he announced. Isaac was overwhelmed with joy. He couldn't sleep that night. The next day, when he arrived at Mentu's house on the supposed day they were about to travel, the gateman crushed his dream with a few words. Oga don travel since morning o. You no know? Isaac world crumbled. His supposed helper had betrayed him. Shattered but determined, Isaac picked up his pieces. He returned to his manual jobs, slowly saving money. After years of hustling, he opened a small clinic. But business was rough. Many patients couldn't pay their bills. Isaac, being kind-hearted, treated some for free. Without proper medical equipment, the clinic struggled. Then one day, an accident victim was rushed in. Isaac worked tirelessly to save his life. Later, a knock came at his office door. Come in, he said, wiping his forehead. To his shock, the visitor was Peter, his closest friend from school. The accident victim was Peter's nephew. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Peter promised to help Isaac. You need to upgrade this your clinic, my guy, Peter suggested. You are doing well for yourself, but this your clinic need an upgrade. Isaac laughed. Where the money dey now? Where is the money? Peter smiled. Just prepare yourself tomorrow. I will take you somewhere. The next day, Peter picked up Isaac. They drove for hours until they arrived at an isolated building. The moment Isaac stepped inside, chills ran down his spine. 5 well-dressed men sat at a long table with 10 armed guards stationed around the room. Welcome, Isaac, one of the men said, his voice deep and commanding. Is he well informed? No, bossman, Peter responded, bowing slightly. The man leaned forward. You own a small clinic. We can make it big and popular. The best in the city. All you have to do is one simple thing for us. Isaac swallowed. What is it? The man slid a small note across his table. Read it and get back to us. If you agree, you'll be swimming in prosperity. Isaac took the note and left, his mind racing. The next day, Isaac opened the note. and it read, "Special patients will be brought to your hospital. Do not question their condition or identities. Follow our instructions without fail. In return, you will receive unlimited funding and protection. Betrayal will result in consequences." Isaac Ann trembled as he read the letter. Over the next week, he noticed strange cars parked near his clinic and unfamiliar faces watching him. He felt trapped. As Isaac sat in his office staring at the check in his hands, 5 million naira. The check felt heavy in his palm, not because of its weight, but because of what it symbolized. This was more than enough to transform his rundown clinic into a modern hospital, a place that would command respect in the city. The words of the men from the meeting echoed in his head. "We will supply the victims. You don't have to worry about anything. Just do the job and stay silent." Isaac hesitated, but desperation growled at him. He thought about his struggles, the countless nights he had gone to bed hungry, and the years of humiliation. He justified it to himself. "As long as it's not my patient, I can do this." With a shaky hand, he signed the agreement. Weeks later, Isaac Hospital became unrecognizable. Gone were the outdated equipment and crumpled rooms. In their place stood gleaming machines, spacious wards, and private suites. The hospital quickly gained a reputation for being the best in the city. Celebrities, politicians, and business tycoons became regular visitors. Money flowed in like a river, and Isaac finally felt the power he had craved for so long. Mrs. Lola and Ben, two of his most trusted staff members, played key roles in the illegal operations. Lola, a sharp and confident nurse, handled logistics and ensured discretion. Ben, a skilled but morally corrupt surgeon, performed the gruesome procedures. They worked seamlessly, making the organ extraction look like routine medical procedures. As Isaac basked in his newfound success, his mother began pestering him to settle down. "Isaac, you're a wealthy man now. It's time to marry and start up a family. Not this Lagos girl, so I have found someone for you. A good girl from the village. Her name is Mma. She's a very obedient and responsible girl." Isaac agreed. His mother approval mattered, as he felt it was time to solidify his status with a family. The wedding date was quickly set and preparation began. When Isaac handed Lola the wedding invitation, her reaction surprised him. "You are getting married?" Lola asked, her voice calm but her eyes filled with something darker. "Yes," Isaac replied. "Is there a problem?" Lola chuckled bitterly. "Are you kidding me? After everything? Isaac, don't you see how much I care about you? I have been by your side all this while, working day and night to make this hospital what it is today. If anyone deserves to be your wife, it's me, Isaac. Let me say it to your face." Isaac was taken aback. "Lola, we are not dating, remember? You are my employee, and I have been more than generous to you. You own a house in the most expensive neighborhood in this Lagos, luxury cars, and millions in your account. Please, don't make this complicated." But Lola wasn't satisfied. "If I would not have Isaac, no one else will," she said within herself. Lola was no ordinary woman. She was both beautiful and dangerously ambitious. She had been working alongside Isaac since the hospital rise, and in her mind, she was entitled to everything he had, including him. But there was one problem. Isaac didn't see her that way. Lola tried subtle ways to get Isaac's attention. She started wearing tighter dresses that clung to her curves. She accidentally spilled water on her blouse one day, forcing him to look at her exposed skin. She made sure her perfume lingered in his office after she left. She laughed at all his jokes, touched his arm often, and made herself the only woman in his life who truly understood him. But Isaac was not moved. He was married now. He tried to keep his home in order. Frustrated, Lola decided it was time to escalate the game. One rainy night, Isaac stayed late at the hospital. He was going through some reports when his office door opened. Lola stood there, drenched from the rain, her wet dress clinging to her body like a second skin. Isaac, she whispered, her voice trembling. I had a flat tire on my way home. My battery died and there was no one to help me. Isaac sighed and stood up. Come inside, let's get you a towel. As he walked past her, Lola suddenly grabbed his hand and pulled herself close to him. He could feel the heat of her body against his. Isaac, please, she whispered, looking up at him with desperate eyes. I have been with you since the beginning. I have risked my life for you. I have done things no woman will do for you. We make this hospital a success. I should be the one in your life. Lola, stop this. Isaac said, trying to step her back, but she tightened her grip on him. You don't love your wife, she whispered, pressing her lips dangerously close to his ear. She's a naive village girl. She doesn't know the real you, but I do. Isaac's breathing became more heavy. This was wrong, but before he could react, Lola leaned in and kissed him. Isaac tried to pull away, but his hand betrayed him. The frustration, the stress, the young years of holding back, everything exploded in that moment. That night, Isaac slept with Lola. It was supposed to be a one time mistake, but it wasn't. It continued day by day. Lola had hooked him every time he tried to resist. She reminded him of their secrets, of how much she had done for him. She made him feel alive, powerful, and addicted. He was trapped. 3 months later, Lola walked into his office with a cold smile. We need to talk, she said. Isaac, who had been avoiding her, sighed. Lola, I told you we need to stop this. I can't continue with this. I'm married, for God's sake. I'm pregnant, she cut in. The words hit him like a thunderbolt. Isaac slowly stood up, his face pale. What did you just say? He asked. Lola folded her arms and smirked. You heard me right. I'm carrying your child. Isaac slumped back into his chair. His heart pounded violently. You have to get rid of it, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Lola's eyes darkened. What did you say? I should get rid of it? Me get rid of my child? No, that can't happen. Lola leaned forward, her voice low and dangerous. Let me make this clear, Isaac. I'm keeping this baby and you must marry me. Either you like it or not. Be ready to choose between your career and me. Isaac shut up. Are you mad? Can't you get it? I'm married. I have a wife. Lola chuckled. You don't seem to care about that when you are in my bed, do you? Isaac hands balled into fists. Lola, I will give you whatever you want. Money, properties, name it, but don't destroy my marriage. Lola, I can't get married to you. I can't get married to an horrible person like you. Horrible? Lola said. Horrible. Pot calling kettle black. You just call me horrible? Lola's smile was chilling. I don't want money, Isaac. I don't want properties. I want you. And if you don't marry me, you know what I can do. I will tell the whole world everything about this hospital. Isaac felt his world collapse. Lola had him by the throat. If he refused to marry her, she would expose everything, the organ trafficking, the killings, the brotherhood. If he agreed, his marriage was over and he would be forever under Lola's control. Isaac had made many enemies in his line of work, but none of them were as dangerous as a woman like Lola. As Isaac dealt with the chaos in his personal life, the Brotherhood, the secret organization founding his hospital, made a chilling announcement. We are done supplying you with victims, the leader told him during their weekly meetings. You have your own hospital now. Use your patients. Isaac's heart sank. You can't be serious. These are innocent people. They trust me. How can I use my patience for this? The leader's eyes bored into his. Do you think we care about your morals? This is the price of your success. Fail us and you will lose everything, including your life. Isaac had no choice. When the Brotherhood needed an organ, he would perform a routine operation on an unsuspecting patient and ensure they didn't survive. He would then harvest the required organ and dispose of the body. One of the first cases involved a young boy with appendix. Isaac assured the boy's mother, a struggling widow, that it was a simple procedure. During the surgery, he removed the boy's heart instead. He tearfully told his mother, "I am sorry. We did everything we could, but your son didn't make it." The mother wailed in agony, and Isaac felt a pang of guilt. But the money and power silenced his conscience. Things came to a head when the Brotherhood requested the help of a prominent politician's son who had come to the hospital for a minor surgery. Isaac hesitated, knowing the backlash if he was caught. "You are running out of time," the Brotherhood leader warned him. "Bring his heart to us." Isaac reluctantly agreed, but during the procedure, the boy's body went into cardiac arrest, harvested the heart, and informed the boy's family that he died of complications. The family, who are hesitant, didn't believe him. They requested for the deceased body, insisting on performing an autopsy to know the actual cause of his death, because what he came for in the hospital was just a minor surgery, which they think can't possibly lead to his death. That night, as Isaac sat in his office, the weight of his sins crushing him, his phone buzzed with a message: "Return home now." Isaac immediately hurried home to find Emma sobbing. "Isaac, what is this?" she asked, holding a series of photos. There were pictures of him and Lola in compromising situation, along with documents exposing his hospital illegal activities. Before he could respond, his phone rang. It was the Brotherhood. "You have become a liability, Isaac," the voice said. "Prepare for the consequences." Before Isaac could know what was happening, a large number of policemen stormed into this mansion. "You are under arrest." It was later revealed that after performing autopsy on the prominent politician's son, it was discovered that Isaac harvested his heart. He was later sentenced to life imprisonment alongside his accomplice.